Andrew McCart, IFL TV in association with MTK Global. Very, very delighted to be joined by super middleweight king, I want to say king, Callum Smith. How are you, buddy? How is things with you and the family?
Yeah, good. I've been enjoying the downtime, if I'm being honest. Obviously, I've got a little girl and a family, and it's been nice spending time with them. It's just trying to just keep a bit of a routine, get out the house when every now and again, and been going for big walks, and just trying to just stay as busy as possible. Even though it's hard with no gym and stuff, but there's been good parts and down parts to it. But we've got to just crack on.
The thing is, as well, you're saying that you don't got much of a gym, but what are you doing to stay fit? Are you just going on runs? Are you able to punch? Have you got a punching bag in the garage, in the back garden or something like that? What
no,
are you doing
I've got no bag at home. I'm always been big on leave the boxing in the gym and I come home to switch off. But obviously you've got to just do bits. I've done the odd run and a couple of bike rides and just trying to just stay busy. And as much as it's to stay fit, it's more just to stay just active and just get out the house and do some form of exercise rather than just sitting and lounging around and you'll end up stuck in a rut. But it's not so much time to get fit to train for the fight because I've no idea when boxing's going to resume again. But it's just keeping that kind of routine. I've trained my whole life, and it's been, although you have a few weeks off after each fight, the few weeks have passed and you're still doing it. You've got to get some form of activity, in which I've been trying my best to do.
You said that we don't know when boxing is going to come back, but you haven't fought since November, and it was obviously well documented that the Canelo fight was sort of like dangled in front of you for a little bit. So Now that you've not got the Canelo fight, you don't know when your next fight is, you haven't fought for best part of 6-7 months. How are you staying motivated? Is it hard to stay motivated during this time?
Yeah, and no, and obviously it's hard to stay motivated, but it'd be a little bit different if I was sidelined and the rest of the world was carrying on, and you start panicking that you're going to get left behind and everyone else is fighting, you're not. But we're all in the same position. The whole boxing stopped, and you're not getting left behind. No one else is making progress while you're sidelined. So as frustrating as it is, we're all in the same position. You've got to just get on with it, and whenever I do fight, although I'll have had a spell of inactivity 9 times out of 10, so will my opponent probably. So again, we're all in the same position. We've got to just make do with the situation we're in, and hopefully it's not too much longer that boxing sidelined, and we can get back training, get back fit, and start getting fight dates.
We talk about fight dates and talk about getting boxing up and running again. The British Boxing Board of Control and Eddie Hearn and stuff like that are talking about July behind closed doors. First of all, 2 parts to this question, I suppose. What's your thoughts on that, and how do you feel fighting in front of no spectators, no crowd, no fans, and just you and your opponent and each other's teams?
Listen, obviously it's not ideal. People want crowds. They're a big part of boxing, and they're a big part of the big nights. The atmosphere is what makes it, and a lot of fighters thrive on the atmosphere and kind of need that atmosphere to perform. Some are happy without it. If it's a case of fight behind closed doors or wait a couple of months and fight normal, then I'm 100%. I'd rather wait and wait till things are back to normal. But if it's a case of it could be a year, so to speak, before it's back to normal, then you've got to have a decision to make then, where it's need must and you have to fight. And like I said about the lockdown, you've got to just make do with the situation you're in, adapt and just learn to just get on with it. But I've seen the saying, the UFC have done it, and Eddie saying they want to put shows on behind closed doors, and I think the idea of it is good. As a boxing fan, I'd be happy to see boxing on the telly. I'll tune in and watch, but I just think the logistics of it all and the rules the board have laid out, it looks a little bit complicated and probably a little bit too much hassle. But again, I'd love to see boxing back as soon as possible. So whether that's behind closed doors or not, I'm all for getting boxing back on the TV.
I read the rules that the British Boxing Board of Control have come out with as well. It does seem a bit, because the spitting as well, not in the bucket, and the corners got to wear masks. Even the Premiership now, they want to get up and running, but I think I saw something that players can't tackle, or if they do tackle, they've got to turn their head away, or do you know what I mean? It's just madness, isn't it?
I think the idea of it's good, but when you actually look into the rules and regulations and what you'd have to do to get it across the line, it just seems a little bit too complicated. And like I said, if it's a case of waiting 2 extra months, then it probably is a little bit too much hassle. But I think that's the problem. We have no idea how long this is going to go on for, so it's a little bit up in the air. But I'd love to see boxing back. I just think the rules are making it a little bit too hard.
I totally agree, Callum. I mentioned the Canelo fight there with you. I spoke to your brother Liam a couple of days ago, and I wanted to get sort of like his perspective on it and how you were feeling when you didn't get the fight and stuff like that, because it was dangling in front of you, like the cat in front of your face for months and months and months and months. First and foremost, did you think they wanted to fight? Did they want to fight you, do you believe? Or do you think they didn't want to fight you?
I think Golden Boy did. I think they were happy with whether it was me, Billy Joe, Maratta. I think they had probably had a list of opponents to get, and they'd accepted each one. I think DAZN would have as well. From what I'm hearing, I think Reynoso and the training team preferred Billy Joe Saunders. So I don't think they ever wanted me. I think Golden Boy probably went to them with me, and they've said, no, we want Saunders, go and get Saunders. And that's what I was getting relayed back to me. But I'm not saying he's scared of me, he doesn't want to fight me. Listen, he's a tough fighter. He's one of the best pound for pound in the world. And you only have to look at his record. He does fight anyone. I just think stylistically, to get a belt at 168, he must have preferred the Saunders fight. And that's fine by me. It was a nice position to be in negotiations for a possible super fight, but it was frustrating for the amount of time it dragged on to then be left in the same position I was beforehand. But listen, that's boxing. I've been in them situations before. The World Boxing Super Series was a long negotiation period. The Darrell fight was a long one, which the fight never ever happened. So you just learn to deal with that side of boxing. It's not as straightforward as people like to think, and you've got to just get on and know that the fights will happen at some point, and you've got to just keep plugging away.
Yeah, I mean, you're still young. You're only just 30. I suppose you're in your prime of your career. Did Oscar De La Hoya not tweet saying that you've turned down the biggest payday of your career or something along them lines as well? I mean, what from your side, what did he mean by that?
He said I turned down 3-4 times more than my career style payday, which, listen, I'm not here to brag about what I've earned, but it wasn't. It was the career highest payday, but not by much. And I feel like the Canelo payday probably deserves a little bit more. I wasn't asking for ridiculous numbers. I was actually willing to accept less than what fighters previously to me who I believe I'm better than have been paid for it. It was more just knowing your worth. And so he made an original offer, and even if they'd have offered me 100 million, you probably try and see what you can get. If it's the first offer, you think, oh well, now negotiations have started, and you have a bit of back and forth, agree on a number in the middle, and the fight's done. And we turned the first offer down, which Saunders turned the exact same offer down, and that was it. There was no comeback, there was no counter offer. It was just Callum Smith turned down the fight, we'll move on. And from that, I realised I think they just wanted to cover their own back. So then when people say why isn't he fighting Smith, he's ranked number one, then they can say, well, we tried and he said no, so it looks like I'm the one who doesn't want to fight, whereas I did want to fight. I thought we'd start negotiating and we never did. They turned down the first offer, and that was the last I heard.
I mean, you do have more of the belts. You have the Ring Magazine belt. Do you think it's because you're more dangerous? They thought you're more dangerous with your height, obviously your size, your power. That's maybe one of the reasons why they didn't pick you over Billy Joe.
Possibly. I think stylistically we both trouble them in completely different ways. I think I'm a lot bigger. I'm a huge super middle, and I believe I can punch a little bit. Whereas Billy Joe, in my opinion, is a middleweight. He can still do middleweight. He's obviously a lot smaller than me, but he's skillful, he's slick, he's a southpaw, and he'll move a lot and frustrate him in different ways. So I think either fight has its problems, but they must have preferred the smaller man who's going to move and be a little bit more tricky, rather than the bigger man who'll probably stand and probably be there for him to whip, but I'll let him back and probably with a lot more power. But that's boxing. Everyone's stylistically a lot different. You've got to just go with what one's best suited to you at that time, and they must have preferred the Saunders one. And I'm not sure what's going to happen with him. He does still get it. There's a lot of question of him going straight into the Triple G fight, but listen, it's a good fight. As a boxing fan, I'd like to see it, because I do think his movement does cause him trouble.
Here comes a dumb question then. Can you beat Canelo?
Yeah, I believe I can. I honestly believe I can. And just for that reason, in terms of a fighter, he's a better fighter than me. I put him in the top 3 pound for pound in the world. I don't put myself anywhere near that, but size, styles make fights, and I just think I've got the style to beat him stylistically. I'd never entered the ring in a fight for a payday. I'll always walk the ring. I believe I can beat anyone in the world at 168, and that includes Canelo Alvarez. He's a special fighter, but I just think stylistically, I am the man to beat him.
You're not short of opponents. It means even though you didn't get the Canelo fight, there's still big fights out there for you. I mean, even I think I saw an interview with yourself that Danny Jacobs was mentioned. Danny Jacobs is a big name. He's moved up to 168. I mean, stateside, Madison Square Garden against somebody like Danny Jacobs would be a huge fight for you. It might not be as big the payday wise like Canelo, but I mean, it's still a payday, isn't it? And a big fight.
Yeah, that's a huge fight. He's a big name. He's a big name in the States. He's been in with them all. He's lost points decisions to Canelo and Triple G. So he's a big name, man. If I can't get the Canelo fight or one of the unification fights, then it's probably the biggest fight out there for me at 168. So definitely a fight that does interest me. I think it should be easy enough to make. He's with his own match to him, and I am myself. So listen, if that fight was offered, it's a fight I would jump at. It's a fight that motivates me. It's a tough fight to go fight, but they're what I want. I wanna see how good I am, and I believe fighting the likes of Dan Jacobs will let people know how good I am and what level I'm at.
I mean, the other two champions, Benavides and Caleb Plant, aren't the big names. Do you know what I mean? But they are the other title holders. Might not be. Again, talking about payday. I hate talking about payday because I'm one of them guys that just want to see the best fight the best sort of thing. But Benavides, Caleb Plant, are they being discussed just to grab as many titles as you can, maybe become undisputed?
I'd love to, yeah. No, the goal was always to become a world champion. Now I've done that, you look for what's next and what's more, and unification's next on the list. I'd love to fight one of the other champions, whether that's one of them two or Saunders. I like the idea of champion v champion. It'd be a big thing for me personally, a big goal set, and it's definitely doable. I believe I beat all three of them, the three top fighters who are rated very highly, but I believe I'm the best in the world at this weight, and I'd like the belts to prove it. And you've always got to have goals. You've got to set the bar as high as you can, and unified champion and undisputed champion is definitely a goal I will set myself, and I'll do everything I can to achieve it.
Do you think we'll see you against Canelo at some point, even though it might not have worked out this time, but in the near future?
No, if I'm being totally honest with you, I think the time to happen was probably now. I think from what I'm reading, he's probably got his next 2 or 3 fights planned out, and I've got to get on with my own career and do my own things, and I'd like to have unification fights, and if it's not Canelo, and get as many belts as I can, and then I'd like to be a 2-8 world champion at some point. I'd like to move up and try and go up there. So I think if the time to fight Canelo was probably now. If it doesn't happen now, then I won't hold my breath.
I'm glad you mentioned moving up to 175. I mean, I think I read somewhere as well, DMITRY Bivol said that he would love to fight you. I mean, you've got a target on your back now, Callum, so...
Yeah, the Bivol fight, we boxed in the amateurs. I think it was 2011 or something. So, when I seen him as a professional, I knew him right away. I recognised his face, and I've always followed his career. He's a very good fighter. He's a world champion, and 2-8 world champions definitely a goal I will set myself, and one that I feel I'm good enough, I'm big enough to achieve. And I seen him saying he'll come down to 168 and fight me, or I'd gladly go up to 175 to fight him. Either way, I think it is a fight that would excite people. It excites me definitely, and I think it's a good fight for the fans. So how realistic it is of happening, I'm not too sure, but I'm sure once this is done, we can sit down, and I'll always just go with the best fight that's possible for me, the biggest fight possible and the best fights. And as we said before, there's enough names in the mix, so hopefully we can secure one.
You said you fought Bivol in the amateurs. I'm going to ask then, who won?
Him, he beat me.
Was it the old point system?
Sort of 11-7. It was a good fight, to be honest with you, man. Obviously, we both won our fights the day before, and I remember watching him, and I knew he was a good fighter. He was a bit more technically correct in the amateurs. He was a bit more of a tighter guard, which you'd have to with the computer scoring, and he threw a few go left to the body, whereas now he's a bit more loosened and looks a bit more awkward. But I knew then he was a good fighter, and I think he medalled in the World Juniors just before we boxed and stuff. So I knew he was a talent, and he's carried that on and won a world title as a pro. But it's definitely a fight that, I know how good he is, but I believe I can beat him. I wouldn't sit here and I wouldn't move up and fight him if I didn't believe I could beat him. It's generally a fight I do believe I win, but it's a fight that does excite me.
What might be a difficult question to answer, but what excites you the most, or what would you prefer? A unification fight or a 2-weight world champion? If what came first, which one would you pick? If somebody said to you, there's a fight there for you to become unified, or there's a fight there to become a 2-weight?
I'll probably do the unify, because I want to do as much as I can at super middle before moving up. Whereas if I move up next fight and fight for a world title light heavy, I think my days at 168 will be done. Once I move up, I'm not in that luxury position where I can float between weights back and forth. I think once I move up, I'll stay up. I won't want to hurt myself coming back down. So I'd always pick any opportunity at super middle at the minute and do as much as I can while I'm here before I move up. And then, towards the end of my career, then I'll see what I can do at 175.
Have you seen the Mike Tyson? What's your thoughts? I'm going away from yourself a little bit. I want to get your opinion. Mike Tyson smashing the pads.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's good to see. He's a legend. I'm a big fan of Tyson, and I think he's great, and it's just good to see him enjoying boxing. Even though I've seen all the thoughts of a comeback and stuff, and I think he's just a man hitting pads. But I think the excitement and the enjoyment he's seen of it was nice to see. And I wouldn't like a smack off him even at the age he's at now.
Definitely not. Well, Evander Holyfield said he'll do a 4-round exhibition with them because Evander Holyfield's back in training.
Yeah, I've seen that. If it's an exhibition or for charity, then fair enough. Listen, I'm all for that. And even when you get footballers who get in the ring and do a charity thing, I'm all for it. It's when you want to do it properly and be professional, and I think that's the side where these YouTubers, and that kind of takes away from the boxers who put the years of hard work in. But if anyone wants to do it for charity, then I'm all for that. I think it's great. But if you do an exhibition, then I'll certainly tune in. But I've seen everyone saying he's going to make a comeback and stuff, which I think he lost a few at the end of his career through to being past it. He's certainly going to be past it now.
Definitely. And today's heavyweights, Wilders, Joshua's and Fury's, are 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah. Size now is just completely different. The size, your average man's going bigger, than the heavyweights these days compared to the ones back in that days. I don't care how good you are. There's only so much size you can give away, and imagine, I think Tyson's 5'10", 5'11", and Tyson 6'9" or something. It's just absolute madness. But
that's like you boxing me.
Yeah, I think it's nice to see him on the pads and see him keeping fit, but he's just, leave it at that. He's keeping fit, and I've seen a few podcast things with him, and he seems to be back following boxing again, which is good.
Mm-hmm. I've got, staying on the heavyweights then, I want to get two parts to this question. What's your thoughts on Joshua and Fury in December in Saudi Arabia, and do you think Wilder should take step-aside money for that fight to go ahead?
As a boxing fan, yeah, I think he should step aside because I'd rather see them two fight. But for his own personally, then as a fighter man, he should want to get in and he should believe he can win the rematch, and he shouldn't step aside for anyone. He should take his opportunity and try and get his belt back. That's what if any fighter loses a world title, I'd like to think you'd want to get a straight rematch and get it back. So if I was him, I wouldn't step aside. If I genuinely believed I had an off night, I could get it back, then I would. But as a boxing fan, I think everyone would love to see Fury Joshua. Undisputed heavyweight world title. It's never happened before, or for Brits to hold all the belts. And I think as a boxing fan, I'd love to see it. And I've seen the talks of Saudi in December again. It all sounds well and good. The logistics of it, I'm not too sure. But I do think the fight does have to happen soon, because it'd be a shame if one of them lost and then we lost that opportunity to get an all British world heavyweight title fight for all the belts.
I'm going to put you on the spot then. Who wins?
It's a hard one. If you're going off recent form, then I think Fury's the man in form. He's coming off the better win. And I think Joshua's lost, even though he put it right, he kind of showed little bits of vulnerabilities. But there's been times in the past where Fury hasn't looked the best and Joshua's looked great. And you're probably side with Joshua. I think at the minute, Fury's the man in form. But by the time the fight happens, I think they both got the beating of each other. They're both top heavyweights for different reasons. They both got different strengths, and whoever got the game plan off and whoever landed certain shots would obviously win. But at the minute, you've got to say Fury's in better form. But when it happens, I don't know.
Final question then. I want to go off boxing a little bit. I know you wanted to box at Anfield, so I want to get your opinion on Liverpool. Should we just give Liverpool the league, or do you want to see the league out? What's your thoughts?
It's weird. Obviously, I'm biased, but I don't think you can void it and have no one. I think you could give Liverpool it because of how far he was ahead, but it's the relegation that you've got to. You can't just say, "Oh, you're relegated. You've got so many games left, but that's it. You're done. You're going down." Because that's a big thing for the club. They might never ever come back up again. But in terms of the title, I think it's near enough one anyway. So it would be a shame if he wants to avoid it. I'd like to see it finished. Whether it's possible or not, I'm not too sure. But as a Liverpool fan, I would like to see us win it. I think we deserve to win it, but I just don't know what it's. it's confusing. All this COVID thing. It stopped the whole world in its tracks, and I wanted to see us slowly get back to normal, and I would like to see this season finished, definitely.
Definitely. Well, Callum, as always, I do appreciate your time, my man. Tell Christina thank you for letting me borrow her laptop.
I will do.
Thanks, my man. Hopefully I'll catch up with you soon when you've got a fight date and you've got an arena there to perform in front of your fans. Hopefully I'll be there. But as always, thanks again, Callum. Stay safe and hopefully speak to you soon.
I'll take it easy. See you in a bit.
Thank you.